And we are back. We are back. We are back. We are back. Consistency is what we're all about. Welcome, everyone, to the most amazing podcast out there today.
In the world.
The world. The world, Craig. Yes. This is Darkness with the Ginger Hue. I am one of your amazing hosts, Sir Toks, aka the Angry African. And here beside me is Slangist Hewist, also known as the Whistleblower.
AKA the Happy Jamaican. I just had a beef patty.
Really?
No, I
I
didn't.
haven't had one. Now, where'd you
I
get
haven't
it?
had a beef patty in a very long time. I didn't.
Okay, so where'd you get it from, though?
I don't even know where to get a good one anymore. Well, actually, no, that's not true. Tennell's is solid. That's usually the go-to if I ever get a patty. Like if I actually go to buy one, it would be Tennell's.
Okay. Because I've had a plethora. I remember my favorite place to get a patty was at the Islington station.
Yeah, people used to love those patties.
Oh,
I remember liking or having them, but I don't really remember.
Yeah, those ones, but because now I don't really get them here. No one really sells them out here. So I go to Superstore or No Frills. No Frills has them in the like was it the King, whatever. And you know, it's franchise, right? So you're not really getting quality anymore. You're just getting the quantity. I'm like, yeah, you know, no one's gonna tell the difference. But if you've had good patties for a while, you know the difference. So shout out to everybody in the Ontario world that knows how to make a beef patty. And
Tennell's used to sell it, No Frills, but in Ontario, I don't know about outside of Ontario.
I don't think so. I mean, do they still have the spot that Jane and Finch area?
Which one
where they sell the massive the big boxes of patties there. I don't even know what it's called. What the place is called, right by the hospital there.
Oh, I don't know. Oh no, I don't think so. I don't think so.
So mostly Asian people that are selling these patties.
Well, you know, they're business. They're very much business people. So when they see something thriving, they go and
I can't fault them.
Take it over. It's good business.
That's what you do. If you see something that's going to work for you,
it's good business. It might be considered culture vulturing, but it is good business.
Yeah. We can definitely have a full podcast on that. That's another whole topic. But here we are. Again, want to first thank everybody who's been tuning in, commenting, wanting to join the show. We've got multiple guests asking, multiple people commenting, giving us some love, telling us we're doing a great job. Keep it up. So we thank you all. Even the not so nice comments, we'll take them too. Because again, you've taken the time. I prefer them. Well, that's the thing, right? It gets you going. That's right. We definitely thank everybody who's popping in. And again, we see the hard work paying off, right? Like I said, we just celebrated 200,000 views. So can't wait for another 200,000 and celebrate with you guys again. All right. So
yes, sir.
Let's keep it pushing. And yes, we should
till we get to 1 million and beyond.
Yeah. All right. Well, again, as we usually do, I'm going to ask Slang, what did you do to better yourself today?
Just want to point out that that was my question, and he is taking it over like the Asian people took over the patties. Culture vulture joke. Today was I guess, you know, I'll say I worked overnight, so I've been going on 16 hours of work in a 24-hour period. So that's one thing that obviously I'm tired. That can be considered doing something better to better myself, better my financial state, quote unquote. But I'm not going to pick that. What I am going to pick is within that shift of work of the overnight, which is usually quiet, I had the ability to create a few posts for my music, my beat posts. I said, check out my channel, Slang Hugh, everywhere. But my peers, my compadres, my business partners of Gold Era Music had started dropping videos in which they're or posts or reels rather where they're playing their beats and just letting people rock out to them, and I was inspired by it. Snooze, Finn, Sibs, they inspired me as we should. Iron sharpens iron, and then I said, you know what, I'm gonna do the same thing, and I did like a 5 or 6 of them last night. Edited them, get ready to put them out day by day. I'm trying to do one a day, hopefully. We'll see, but yeah, that's not to mention also edited some shorts for us. So
Yep. Again,
um,
we're
felt like a
using the
full
skills
time
we have.
content creator
That's
last night.
that's what you're shooting to be, right?
That's a
You want to
fact.
put your content out there to make money for yourself, so you don't have to
That's a
worry
fact.
about that.
That's
So
a
when
fact.
you're there, and there's going to be a point in time where everything's going to be automated. You're just going to click, like you
Yep.
said. You were telling me you had a template, so you just like put in
Practice.
something, boom, 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 you're done. So soon is going to be that point where you're going to say, okay, boom, it's done. I
Facts.
mean, that's what I was doing with the shorts. I mean, I was in a vibe where I'd post 20 of them. Like, yeah, no problem. I know what I'm looking for. I know what I'm doing. It's just
Right.
almost like muscle memory. Boom, 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 and you're out. So yeah, and then it's
Exactly.
going to a point where you won't need to be the one pushing the button. You're just going to tell somebody to push the button, and they're
Hmm.
go do it, and then boom.
Facts. Facts.
So
Facts.
again, I'm more power to you, brother. I saw the
Yeah.
first one. I'm like, yeah, this is what I'm
It's
talking. And
coming along, man. It's coming along.
I know. I mean, based on all the stuff we're been doing, the fact that you have that stuff on the side, again, I like the fact that you've taken the whole social media by storm now. Before you weren't a social media guy, right? So
I
now you're
mean, compared to,
quick to
I
post
had this
as much now.
conversation the other day with someone who we were talking about, like, in terms of our generation,
Hmm.
I am above the average apparently. And although I
Okay.
feel like, I guess you surround yourself with people who are somewhat like-minded, although
Hmm.
that's a questionable thing for you. But anyway, because most of the people that I interact with,
They're on there all the time.
they're on there as well.
Hmm.
So, but I kind of do see it like people of our 40 plus, 45 pluses
Hmm.
don't tend to. Paul was saying on the last episode, he doesn't like social media. And I know a
Hmm.
lot of people like that too. So it's kind of 50-50. But yeah, I'm trying to step it up. Trying to step it up.
Yeah. No,
But yeah,
I see it. I mean, you've cracked a I want to say cracked the code, but you've cracked something to make you level up what you were doing before. Because before,
yeah.
again, it was just basic. But I'm like, yeah, man, this is some good stuff.
Let me tell you, know what it is, man? Full transparency.
Mm,
Therapy, man. Not that, not again, therapy for me, at least for me, is
mhm,
not a fix. It's a reminder. They're not, like I said, they don't lift the weights for me, but having discussions with my therapist and helping me set goals, that I don't even want to go as far as to say changed me, but it is helping me see that not doing is not helping. Action speaks louder than words and thoughts and dreams. You gotta action your dreams. So that definitely helped me for sure.
okay, I like that. I like that. And now, hopefully, I mean, I'm definitely taking the when I get when I find the right one. Now,
Mhm.
again, just before that, did you kind of go through a list of therapists, or do you went with the one that kind of was recommended to you, or what? How did that work?
I don't know if I called it luck, but the first one that I've interacted with worked works for me.
Okay.
Um, Now I do have the luxury of my best friend also being,
Hmm. Hmm.
so he suggested someone off top. The person he suggested didn't have availability for me,
Right.
but she sent me to like I don't want to say the word. Uh, uh, Maybe like an apprentice. I don't know what the word would.
Okay.
Somebody under her that is learning
Hmm.
under, and that's who I've been working with so far. And yeah, it's been pretty good, man. I'm again, full transparency, and this is like going off on a tangent of someone, but I don't. Like I say everybody needs a form of therapy, some more than others.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like I said, I don't expect the therapist to fix me. I expect them to help me fix myself. So it's not like I go once a week. I go when I feel the need to go, or not
Okay.
go, like get on the call with her or whatever,
Hmm.
Zoom calls, whatever. When I
Right.
feel the need to do it, but also there is a because, like you said, consistency is key. There is somewhat of a consistency. I try to do it at least once every 2 weeks, at least that, just to keep the practice fresh and engaged. And you don't want to again you don't go to the gym for like a month, you're going to feel the weights feel heavier.
Yep.
So I try to lift that weight every 2 weeks to keep strong in that way. So yeah, it's good. I think everybody should go, but I think when people hear, oh, you should get therapy, they think they need to sit on the couch and be talked to for hours
Hmm.
and delve
Hmm.
into their deepest, darkest secrets, which that's a part in which I think that's a part that will help the whole world,
Hmm. Hmm.
but it's not necessary to start out that way. You don't go in my comparison, my analogy, you
Hmm.
don't go into the gym lifting the 100-pound dumbbell
Hmm.
first
Hmm.
day. You got to work your way up to it. So work your
You
way
got
up.
to crawl. You got to crawl before you can walk. You can
Exactly.
walk, then you can run. So
Exactly.
gradually. So again,
Yeah.
did you feel intimidated when you first started?
Not really, man. I mean, not intimidated. Intimidated wouldn't be the word. The word would probably be
Maybe cautious,
anxious
anxious. Okay, yeah.
or like how is this gonna go type thing, but not in the way of oh, do I tell her everything or do I hold back with things? No,
Hmm.
I don't think about that stuff because I think it's natural. I think you're naturally going to protect yourself.
Of
And the
course.
things you want to share at first, you won't do, you will share. The things you don't feel comfortable sharing, you won't share until you feel comfortable,
Hmm. Hmm.
which again, I think is fine to a degree.
Hmm.
You have to know let me stream it out. If you know you're a kleptomaniac, right? Like you have a problem stealing things from people,
Right.
and you go into this go seek therapy and don't talk about you being a stealer, that's a problem because that's what you need help with. So if you have an idea of what you need help with, which I want to believe most of us do, whether you tell yourself out loud, whether you tell people out loud what your actual issues are, I think most of us have an idea. We may not know where the issues stem from, which is a part of therapy, but you should have an idea of what you have an issue with. You might not even know it's your fault, so to speak, and it may not be, but you may not take accountability. That's a better way to put it, for
Mm.
your part in your issue. But if you're going into therapy hiding the parts of you that you want to have dealt with, then
It's
what are
pointless.
you doing there?
Yeah,
Yeah, what's the
you're
point of
wasting your own
being?
time.
So for me, that was never a concern. I kind of had an idea what I wanted to talk about or what I wanted to deal with.
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm sure not even I'm sure, I know there's things I'm not ready to talk about yet, but I also want to deal with, and we'll get there. And they might not even be with this therapist. I might have to change, and who
Mm.
knows? You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So it's
You might.
about being flexible and open, really.
Mm. I would love to get a therapist on here just with an
Yeah,
open
that's a good idea.
session. That'd be
I've
great. Yeah,
invited Rome a few times, but I don't think just timing and so forth.
of course,
But
of
yeah,
course. Again, when it happens, it happens. If it's him, if it's not him, somebody else. We just like to experience that and
yeah,
get the inside look of what their goal is when they talk to you. So because I've been
yeah,
to
I
one a
agree.
long time ago. So,
Mhm.
but again, it is what it is. But yeah,
Yeah, man.
okay.
But that's
All right.
enough about me and my psycho brain. That's all right. But what did you do today to make yourself better?
For me, again, the same old check on the internet, see what's going on, what's popping, follow up on some contacts and so forth. But really, just I didn't do much per se, which is a
Mhm.
good, which is
Mhm.
good because I've taken this a bit of time to kind of reflect on how to move forward. So
Mm.
sometimes you got to stop yourself before you keep on going.
That's
So
a
I'm like,
fact.
okay, here's where we at. Nothing's moving. Nothing's going. I know what to do. Like when I have that opportunity, or like for instance, the whole podcast thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm now taking a breath and understand what I need to do better. I'm not rushing into things. I'm not
Right.
jumping into the next thing. I'm not putting out this. I'm taking a breath to kind of do things, and the quality is showing. Right. So
Mm-hmm.
now I've taken that time to kind of expect that for future work opportunities, future goals, future connections, and so forth. So that's what I'm doing now. So I'm definitely happy to do that, to slow things down. Right. I know people say, no, if you if you go too slow, you'll miss things. No, sometimes
Yeah.
you need
Sometimes you
to kind of
catch
slow it
things.
down to a point, kind of like Matrix style, and see everything passing you so you can catch it before it kind of ruined itself. So yeah, that's me right now. Just doing a lot of different things at different speeds to appreciate and also make myself aware of what I shouldn't do. Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's good. Uh, future, I've set up another cycling session with actually the person I told you about on TikTok at the same bike
Steve.
with me. The third, yes. So we're doing another one at 8:30 p.m. 8:30 a.m. my time. So again,
Proper.
just to be consistent and start the workout thing as much as possible. I love working out with people. It's great to have someone who does the same thing as I do, and
Yeah.
go on from that. So that's cool.
Motivates.
Mhm,
Motivates.
mhm. I'm big on that. I'm big on sharing my goals and my accomplishments, but also working with somebody and kind of high fiving each other in the same way.
Mm-hmm.
I love doing that stuff as well. So that's what I'm pushing. That's what I'm pushing. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I just sent you a video. It's just also something we could use today for one of the topics. The
okay.
files. The files.
Mm. That's you know what? Let's touch on. Well, you brought up a topic that we're going to touch on first. How
Mhm.
about you lead us into this um this topic we're going to be kind of discussing real quick?
Mhm. Are we talking about the not the accountability one, the
The more mortality.
mortality? How did I word it, man? Jeez, see what's going on?
Mm, mm, mm.
Uh, um, is more
Morality, sorry.
it's mortality. Yeah, I
I don't know
know.
why I say mortality.
You know,
Morality.
no, but it's funny. It's one of those moments where you said it, and I
You
I knew
understood.
it was wrong, but I totally understood what it was supposed to be and didn't even
Exactly.
think about correcting it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. What we know what we're talking about.
Mhm. Mhm.
Sorry, okay. All right. Do you want to play the clip first, or do you want to just introduce
Well,
this topic first?
we can definitely play the clip first. You just tell me when
Okay,
to stop it.
sorry. So the question is basically, is morality a subjective thing? And I want us to watch this clip because it kind of outlines in general
Mhm.
where I got the question from. But yeah, go ahead, play the clip.
All right, we'll play the clip real quick, real quick, real quick. Here we go. And can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Other
live.
cases of pedophilia. And the children attracted the pedophile.
You really want to go there? Let's
Yeah.
go. All these things that we label good and bad have been labeled good or bad depending on who you're taking sides with. Even Jesus wasn't one-sided. There's a whole lot of text on there that doesn't show him that one-sided state.
He was neither good nor bad.
He was neither. It's like a fight to you. It doesn't match your belief system, so you're ready to fight and
Your
attack.
hands are shaking.
I'm not going to pacify my research for any human being on this planet. Nobody.
I have a really hard time with this. If I went home today and somebody was assaulting my wife, I would forcibly stop it.
Probably.
No,
Because you would
not
value.
probably 100%
Well, you would-
certainly.
you
I
would-
wouldn't say maybe this is his belief and this is my
you're
belief.
you're going to react in that setting exactly proportional to your morality at the time. If you see what he's doing as evil, you're going to do what you can to stop him.
But it is evil.
In your
All right.
perception, it will be.
Rumi.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. All right. All right. So there you have it, folks.
Mhm.
And you want to touch base on this one? What do you think?
So again, like I was telling you, I kind of watched the actual pod. It's
Mhm.
the author and the host of the pod is Aubrey Marcus. Uh, s- so basically, they were having a back and forth about morality and is not only morality, is there such thing as good? Is there such thing as good, or such thing as evil? Is there such thing as right or wrong type things, which can be boiled down to morality also at the same time. Um, uh, the gentleman, which I forget his name, in the glasses, who was kind of on the side of there is no such thing, while Aubrey was on the side of, well, of course there is. Like, if I go home and see somebody assaulting my wife, I'm going to take action and get him off. I'm not going to think about, well, is this right or wrong, or is it his belief and that's his belief and my belief, and go through the gauntlet of debate of whether he should or should not. He's going to take action because in his mind, that is a wrong thing. And the comments of that post were very up in arms, or very polarizing, like people are on one side or the other, which speaks to how much morality is subjective. So some people get it, some people don't. To me, so yeah, I guess I'm letting my cat out of the bag. My opinion is that it is subjective in many ways, shapes, and forms. Depending on where you are in this world, depending on how old you are, depending on the adjectives that are used to describe you as a human being, your view on what is right and wrong and what is moral or not, or immoral, varies. And even within the agreeing, like, we can agree on something being moral or immoral, but our agreement varies. Like, can I think of an example right now? Oh, yes, simple example. Me and you could agree on an older man marrying a young girl is weird and probably wrong, right? Now, what you think is an old man and what I think is an old man might be different. What you think is a young girl and what I think is a young girl or woman or what have you might also be different. You might, and I'm not, this is totally hypothetical, so don't get wild.
Yeah.
You might think, I'll even put it on me. You might think a 20-year-old woman is too young to be married to a 40-year-old man, whereas I might think a 30-year-old woman is too young to be married to a 40-year-old man. So right there, and what's morally correct there? Is there a moral correct? Are either of us right or wrong? I don't know. But yeah, tell me your thoughts.
Here's the thing, and I remember I told you I jumped into someone's live about this whole conversation, and I was really keying in on the fact that I believe the moral compass has evolved. That perfect example you said could have been fine 100 years ago. And it could have been fine in another place in the world. Maybe in China, maybe in Africa, who knows? But I'm just saying that I don't know. I guess, like I said, our views of the age difference is subjective, because I might think one's old and one's not, and so forth. But in another place, that's fine, right? That's fine. So that's what I'm going on. I think the fact that I honestly think that it isn't subjective, because if it was subjective, we wouldn't have laws, we wouldn't have rules, and all these rules would be, on the fence, right? If you rob somebody at gunpoint, on my side, I'm thinking you're wrong because you robbed someone at gunpoint. I needed to rob this person because I needed food for my family. I need to get money. So his morals are totally different. Right? So that's what I'm saying. So there is right and wrong. You just choose which side of the right and wrong you want to be on.
Okay, but the way you just described to me would contradict that there is a right and wrong.
There is, sorry, the laws make it right and wrong. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Right?
Even that I was going to speak to, because But we both know, especially as black men,
Hmm.
that laws were once created to keep us in a certain place. Would you
Correct.
say then that those laws at that time were right?
But
And
that proves my whole evolution of things. So at that time, it was right for the people who are making those laws.
yeah,
Now time has gone by, and like, well, we can't use these laws. So that's why you keep on hearing people rewriting the laws or rewriting the rules on things like that. I mean,
yeah,
it's
that's
always ever
valid.
changing. Yeah.
That is valid. But at that time, was it
Mm.
right?
No.
So then we can't go by law. That's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't
Okay.
it does,
Okay.
like it would be different if you're saying that regardless of the time the law is correct, then I would have to agree with you. But we've seen laws be created for immoral reasons, like to keep a certain set of
For
people
control. Yeah.
above others,
Yeah.
slavery being one of them, uh, um, um, women's rights being another. Civil rights in general can be considered the fight for what is right or morally correct.
Well, was it again? Okay. I was going to say, was it really against the law to do things back then? Or was it just the whole, you shouldn't do it because, right?
Yeah, in some cases it was like I think I've said this on the show
I
before,
know segregation was huge,
and
but
that was a law. That
yes,
was
that's
those
what I'm
were
saying. But
written into
but I'm
law.
saying the women's
Apartheid,
right thing, the women's right
yeah,
thing,
same
was that
thing.
a law?
Women couldn't vote by law at
Or
one point.
it was by law.
Yeah,
I
by
I
law.
don't know.
I
Okay, then
yes,
yeah,
you got me questioning my my own education. But yes, as far as I know, because okay, let's even take specifically women out of it.
Mhm.
Black people were by law not allowed to vote at one point,
Correct. Yes.
or even Asians at one point weren't allowed to vote
All
uh,
right.
by law. Aboriginals weren't allowed to vote by law.
Right.
So yes, I definitely believe, and I'm pretty like 99% sure it was legal that women couldn't vote, even if that was specific states. But I if it was in the South, then it was also in the North at one point because they couldn't vote
Yeah.
for presidents or federal
Right. Okay.
thing.
Okay.
So
Okay.
there was another point that I had there, but I wouldn't use law might be a possible framework, but because anything created by man is morally skewed, like anything, quote unquote, morally skewed. If you believe in morality
And
like that,
anything created by man morally screwed.
skewed,
Yes.
meaning it's created to benefit the creator 9 times out of 10.
Do we want to go to the spiritual world then? I mean, because I mean that's what
Well, I don't
that's
mean
what
the creator as in God, but we
but
can speak
well
even to
again
that.
because everybody's, if we go there,
Mhm,
everybody's saying that the Bible was a man-made tool to control certain things,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
People, again, whether you're religious or not, they were saying that this book was set for you to understand and go by, abide by these readings, these rules, these regulations, and so forth, and you'll live a happy life,
mhm,
right? But the thing is, that wasn't the only book,
right.
right? So
Mhm,
then, who made the books, right?
mhm,
Like, who decides to say, you know what, I'm going to write this,
yep.
and here is King James, whatever. Then Buddha or the people on the east, and oh, Buddha's here. Let me write something.
Right, something a
Yo,
little different. Yeah.
here's us. There's
Right.
here's a little different version of this. I'm like, okay. Then you have a Muhammad. Huh, hold on, I got something.
Mhm.
And you got Islam and then Muhammad there. So like, I mean, it's going to be impossible to go back and say, yo, who actually made the decision to make these rules, these books, these morality full stops?
Yep.
Who cut it in half? Who said that this is right, this is wrong? Who is the one? Is it
And
man?
on top of it, the men who were writing this are saying it's not coming from them. They say it's coming from a higher power.
I mean, I'm a religious person, yes, but then I then question. I'm like, so I'm reading this book, or I'm listening to a sermon. Like, who told you this? Who told you that I have to do this?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And why am I listening to this person? Like, I'm not trying to question the higher powers, but you sit down and you see some of these leaders, spiritual leaders, who've done the wrong thing,
Mm-hmm.
and they continue to do the wrong thing. And you're like, you're telling me one thing and doing the other. So where is right and where is wrong? If you, who is telling people to be righteous, and you're going off and doing the other thing, it makes no sense. It confuses the whole process for people.
And that's the thing. That's also, again, you're going to interpret any written text. You're
Mhm.
going to see it through the lens that you are capable, or your the capacity of your lens.
Yep.
So those preachers or those pastors are preaching, or priests or imams or whoever, the
Yep.
leader,
Yep.
these so-called religious leaders. And I say so-called because what makes them more qualified than you to read this text and make up your mind as to what it means or what it says? Besides maybe language, maybe if you're going to read what the Bible was originally written in before translated, you might need to know Hebrew, or that type of thing.
Yeah.
But beyond that, which most of them don't even do that.
Yeah.
Most of them are not reading the original writings.
That's true.
They're reading the King James version or this version or that version. What makes them more qualified to morally judge or tell you what to do?
Right.
And why is it so different? Why is there so many of them? Why are there so many different versions of what morality is? If it's so clear cut, which, even saying that, I believe that every religion, for the most part, like at least the core religions that I'm aware of, are teaching you to be a good person or be good in this world. They do, in generally speaking, the goal is to not kill your others, to love your neighbor, to, the 10 Commandments type of thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty much represented in almost all religious texts. Not,
Correct.
don't get me wrong, not the 10 Commandments, but the ideals of the 10 Commandments.
Yeah.
Right. That being said, if we're following just that, then maybe we could say that those are the moral compasses that we need to be governed by. The problem is there's more writing. And as the more these men write, men being the key word here, also, by the way, the more these men write, the more they divide in the way that they're thinking.
So what you're saying is that there's no women involved in any of these decisions that are being written. Like, were they not? Well, I'm not putting it on. Could they?
We
have
weren't
been
there.
Influenced? True.
We weren't there, but as far as we know,
true. But men can get influenced. I mean,
true. That's also true.
Like we weren't there. You're right. But again, power back then was to rule all and have the prettiest lady and whatever. And then you have that woman says, you know what? I don't want people to be given grapes to whatever. Let it be written that you cannot eat grapes anymore. So you know what I'm saying? As much as men are writing it, it could be influenced by the situation that they're in. And usually, based on ego, back in the day, women really were running things. They were the puppeteer.
I understand where you're coming from.
Not fully now. Again,
but for the most part, no. I'm not saying, I can't say that they didn't have no influence. I could definitely agree with what you're saying. They probably did. Even mothers, a man has a daughter, he looks at things differently. Yes, I could see that. But by and large, and I'm not very familiar with the Quran or the Torah or these other religious texts. And I don't even want to, it's not only about religious texts, like
No, no.
I'm focused on, but for the most part, these books were written by men for men to maintain their power over and dominion over others.
Yep. To keep their rule.
Yeah, like it's wild. Like this is another example of why morality is subjective. If we're even basing it on a Bible, it's wild that slave masters and slaves both read the same book and both believed in this book. How? Like how is that? How is that even?
Well, like you said, how you interpret it or how someone's going to interpret it to you is what you're going to go by. So you can spin it. I mean, I can take a chapter and spin it and make you feel horrible about yourself.
Right.
And at the same time, you will sit there and the other group of people are saying that you now want to rise above what they're, again, based on how you interpret it. So you're saying, I don't have to be in this situation. Let's rise up. And then poof, you have your revolts and your whole revolution, or the whatchamacallit there. You know, when they go against the government and whatnot.
Yeah, no, your rebellion, revolution.
Rebellion. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. You look at your rebellions and whatnot. So that's, again.
And both sides are saying, oh, but God wants me to have this.
Right.
Both sides are able to say that. That in itself is a relative or subjective way of looking at morality. Because in my mind, and I'm sure in yours, there's no way owning slaves is morally correct. But they found a way to make themselves believe that.
But here's the thing, though. What's scary, though, is that it was morally okay before Christ, right? BC. Then it was abolished and people were freed, only to come back and make it happen again.
Valid.
So I'm like, who's making these decisions? Like, who all of a sudden said,
the people in power?
Okay. What I'm saying is, who says, you know what? I think we need slaves. Hey, you guys think we need? Yeah, let's get slaves. When all of us, like, this was again thousands of years before, when it was not okay. They said, yeah, go run free, be free. You're free. We don't, whatever. You're in your. Who in their right mind says, you know what? Let's start up slavery again. Yeah, why not? Who did it?
Well, and this might be a controversial take. You're always going to need a lower class. There's always going to be the necessity. As long as we are in a capitalistic world, which we mostly, for the most part, are. I'm sure there are pockets that are not. There are always going to need to be people on the bottom that work for the people on the top. We just don't call them slaves anymore because they work in call centers and they get paid. We don't call them slaves anymore because they pick crops and they get paid. But and obviously they don't get beaten, they don't get starved out, they don't get hung if they don't do the job. That, at least in certain parts of the world, they don't. Like in the so quote unquote first world, they don't.
Yeah.
But they do get threatened with being fired and losing their livelihood and not being able to feed themselves. They do get threatened with not being able to shelter themselves or clothe themselves if they don't do what they're told by the top down. We have, and this is to your point, it's funny, use the word evolution. This is how that has evolved over time. And our morality is again subjective. We're able to appease ourselves with the idea that, well, we work for a living, so we're not slaves. It's a choice. We have a choice. How many people have a choice whether to work or not?
Not many.
In this first world country where things should be easier, and they've sold us this bag of goods.
Yeah.
How much people can afford not to have a job? Whether it's a high-paying job or low-paying job, even the people making millions sometimes can't stop working for somebody else because everybody has a boss.
True. Here's the thing, and this hit me in my face just now. I'm like, we have as you were just speaking about the whole evolution and what we're coming by, where you have that top dog, that boss, and then they have their people underneath them, to the point where you have the lowest, I won't say the lowest, but the most petty, not petty, I don't know, uh, not the greatest jobs, we'll just say that, down to the caretakers and so forth. The people are cleaning up after people and whatnot. I'm looking at them, then I'm looking at the Bible. I'm like, it is mirror images of what's going on in the world, right? We have to listen to this higher power, and this higher power gave a certain amount of people knowledge and passed it on to other people and continue. We'll flip over to where we live in now, where you have a CEO who's telling his directors to tell his front runners to do this. It's just the same damn cycle, just with no book or no actual.
There's probably a book, but we don't get to read it.
Yeah, well, yeah, but it's the directions are almost, they're not the same, but it's the same process. You will, like you said, there's going to be a guy who is running a Fortune 500 company, and then you're going to have someone who's cleaning the toilets or doing security at night just to pay the bills,
or working in a sweatshop.
Yeah.
And that Fortune 500 owner is telling himself he's providing jobs for people.
Yeah.
So he's doing
Making
the right
themselves feel
thing.
good.
Here's a question.
That changes the whole concept about the moral compass, because you're saying, well, I am creating jobs for all these people. Are these people getting paid what they should be paid at these jobs? Are
Then you
they
tell
getting the
yourself,
same
well, they get paid
hours?
what they work for. If they wanted more pay, they would go get a better education, or they would do the Republican way of thinking.
But here's the thing, though. Now you take that concept, it's not the same, say, for a place like I think it's Amsterdam, where they have a 4-day week. Is it a 4-day? Yeah.
Right.
So their morals is totally like, you walk in there, it's a whole different lifestyle. You might still have the rules, but they're more liberal to kind of help people succeed. Whereas this is very rigid. That's a bit more open. You go to another country, it might be a 6-day week.
It might be
or their minimum
7.
wage is twice as much as whatever. Like,
yeah.
every place has its own
Yeah.
own set rules, right? And I'm like, man, why? And for some reason, the West makes it so hard. Like, I know there's a lot of people that have left the West, gone east, and they're doing so much better. They're so comfortable, so happy, and it's not even the fact of the dollar value; it's the life.
Yeah, the
they're
lifestyle
living.
is different.
The lifestyle is different,
Yeah.
and that's because of the certain moral compass or the rules that have been set in that new location.
And the stress
Like,
level is different.
Yeah.
And like, I definitely, in the Western way of thinking, there is a constant cycle of work to live rather than live to work rather than work to live.
Okay.
Did I get
Yeah.
that right?
Mm-hmm.
I think I got that right. Tell me if I got that right.
Mm-hmm.
But before I even go down that road, I had a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Is greed moral?
Is greed moral?
Yeah. Is being a greedy person, or just greed, is the greed a moral
Again, that's
concept?
subjective.
I'm asking you, what do you think?
Greed is moral. Yes.
Moral or immoral? Like, so meaning, is
It's
greed
moral.
a good thing?
Moral. It is a good thing, because you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. Now I want to hear this. Break it down, sir.
Again, I would like to know knowledge. If you're greedy for knowledge, you want to know, you will make it happen.
Okay. You
Right?
pulled one
That's
out
what I
the
said.
rabbit. You pulled one out of the black hat. Okay.
Because I'm like,
That makes sense.
sometimes you the need to know is not a bad thing.
Valid.
Right. It's not a bad thing.
That's valid.
That's why you have these amazing, educated people who
It
can
can be
teach
though,
themselves.
but generally speaking, I agree with you.
Yeah. So that's why I knew you were going to try to
Yeah,
catch me. I'm like,
yeah, good one. That's a good one.
I'm like,
That's
you know
probably
what?
the only way I could
That's
explain.
that's the only one I got.
Greed
That's
of
what I'm giving
knowledge.
you.
But it
Greed of
can't.
knowledge.
But again, even in that, there's a varying degree of, because you can seeking knowledge isn't necessarily a bad thing, but what are you willing to do to attain the knowledge is where it becomes bad. For example, even though this is a fake thing, I started watching the second season of Fallout, which I don't know,
Yes,
that's tough for me to watch. So I
it
don't know.
is. It is.
So
It is.
it's gory. Like
Yeah.
anyway.
I have to stop after episode 2.
I don't even know if I made it to through episode 1.
I'm like, what the
it's like,
hell?
I don't know if I can watch it anymore. But anyhow, you probably see the scene where I don't even remember the character's name, but basically they go back in time and they're showing when
Wife?
I don't remember his name, but he's basically testing out the mind control apparatus that he created.
Yep. I remember. Yeah, and he's
so
outside.
Meets some random guys in the alley and gets one guy to kill the other type thing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Now, for him, he's like, yeah, I'm just testing out my product to see if it works, but at what cost and at whose expense?
But then they but then they speed it up or they spin it on you and say, you know what? For the greater good. You know how they always say it's for the greater good.
Right. But it's not for the greater good. It's for his greater good.
How do we know? Because you never know if that's
you're absolutely correct. You're right.
You don't know.
That's why though. That's what I'm saying. You're absolutely correct. The people that end up benefiting from those experiments. So let's put it in a real world. When they're testing on mice, like they're testing certain medicines on mice or monkeys or different animals here, right? There are people who are PETA's gonna say, no, that's not right. We can't do that.
Until one of their family members have cancer.
I'm over here saying, well, what about the human beings that this is gonna save? Who's more important here? But then there's a middle ground, like nobody, like really and truly, I don't know her real name, but shout out to Cute Theory, which is also an inspiration.
For sure.
To her credit, killing anything is technically wrong. Technically, killing any living species should be viewed as a wrong thing to do. Again, if we're going to the 10 Commandments way of thinking, thou shalt not kill. He didn't say thou shalt not kill humans. It stopped at kill.
Hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the spin-off now.
Theology.
Here's the thing, though. Thou shalt not kill, right? Everything that God has put on the in the world grows. Is a living thing. Doesn't have to be a living being. Is a living thing. And so if you're cutting down a tree, or
that was my argument.
If you're cutting down a tree, or if you're planting whatever, and you're cutting down and eating these things, are you not doing the same?
For me, yes. Now,
so, but the whole thing about, because I remember the conversation that we were both in there for at one point. And I'm like, you know what? She's making a point, but it's still contradicting itself, because I'm like, we have these vegetarians and whatnot saying, oh, whatever. I'm like, okay, you know what? But all those plants that you're eating are living things too. So,
and that was my argument. But she's convinced herself, and no shade to all vegans. I'm not even going to use her for example. All vegans convince themselves that is morally correct, because they're not killing something that is living, that has feelings. This is the words that were used. They don't have, plants don't have feelings. How do we know that?
Hold on. Wait, again, this was brought up. Were you who brought it up, or someone else? Someone said something about the cutting of the grass.
Yes, I brought that up.
Yes.
Because
And I'm thinking,
yeah.
because I cut my grass. I'm like, yeah, man, they do.
Yeah,
They lead a different way.
Yes.
So they are feeling, hey, we're expecting. Let me just
If they have
go
no
to this.
feelings, why are they trying to survive?
Yeah,
That
exactly.
doesn't make any sense.
That
to
goes
me
with ants.
personally.
That goes with bees. That goes with grasshoppers. That goes with flies. That goes with
Right.
trees, roses.
Right. And we are willing, again, to, as human beings, going back a little bit, we are willing to bend the rules and the laws in the name of evolving. All of these buildings, all of these factories, all these cars on the road are destroying us at the same time that they are building up our environment. It's making life easier, but it is also destroying the very planet that we're supposed to live on. Even they're saying even now that like AI is taking off to a certain degree, the power that it takes to run these AI shit, I can't remember the name, but to
modules,
allow
yeah.
AI for machine learning and so
Mhm.
forth, the
Mhm.
amount of power and resources it takes for these things to run is killing the planet. But we're thriving and telling ourselves, yeah, but it's providing us knowledge. So back to the greed for knowledge. That's another example. Yeah, but it's making our
Yeah.
world easier. Yeah, but it's making us smarter, which some people think it's making us dumber. I don't necessarily agree, but whatever. But yeah, but we're fine as long as my TV can turn on and I can be
So you're saying
entertained. Who
there's
cares
always a
about the water?
sacrifice. There's always a sacrifice. There's always someone who's on the chopping block. There's always something that's going to suffer from our decision.
And we will always bend our morality in order to do so, unless you're one of these people that lives off the grid and is living off the land. And even then we bring back in
Even them.
bring
Even
back in
them
the
we just talked
plants and
about.
the animal thing.
Yeah.
But not even a but. Now we should seek to survive, right? The only thing is that we've transferred surviving into dominance as human beings. If we were only concerned with surviving, we would still be running around here in loincloths and building huts out of mud and leaves and whatever we kill using to its full capacity. We're not
Right.
just eating chicken legs. We'd be
Mhm.
killing whole chickens, using the feathers for our clothing.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Using whatever the beak to create some, I don't know,
Yeah, no,
some
I got you.
tool,
Yeah,
something,
yeah,
you know what
no.
I'm saying?
I'm feeling what you're saying. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we'd
got
be
you.
doing a lot using the cow skin to create pelts and all these vibes.
Bones will be used and
Yeah,
whatnot. Yeah,
but
yeah.
but we tell ourselves after a while, yeah, this ain't fast enough, man. I want a tomahawk steak. I don't want the whole cow. I want a ribeye. I don't want it. Who wants to deal with the cow tongue? Throw that out. Let's fling that aside. The hooves. What are we gonna do with it? Fling the hooves aside, bro. Let the black flies and the maggots eat that up. We
But
don't
then
even.
But even saying that now, you're gonna say, yo, the maggots need to eat, the flies need to eat. So now that whole concept comes back and says, well, we know we need these to survive, so let's give them something to survive with.
But that's going to happen anyway because it's going to come out of us if we ate the way that quote unquote supposed to. I don't even want to use the word supposed to, but if we ate efficiently, there'd be less garbage, less waste in general. The waste that would come out of us would feed those same insects and larvae, and the cycle would continue. Right now, as it stands, they say cockroaches can survive almost anything, but right now as it stands, we're not feeding those things on purpose. It's like a byproduct. They just
And
happen to get
even
fed.
the stuff we put in our system after it comes out of our system and feeds these things, they're killing those things off too because it's not even natural that's coming out. It's
There
not
you have it.
natural.
There you have it.
Because
We're
I know,
destroying their homes
but
and all these things. But
I think before you had access to certain fertilizer in some countries, you were using your own to fertilize. I mean, it just made sense.
Mm-hmm.
So it you hit the nail on the head there with the whole process, because I'm like, we're too comfortable. We made life too comfortable for ourselves.
And I like it. Don't get me wrong. I like it.
Yeah, but do you think now you're saying you like it because you're living it now? If you went back 1,000 years and you were living the way they were living, even 2,000 years, and living as simple as it was, you wouldn't know what's going on out here to
I
what you're
like it
doing
the
out there.
same way.
That's what I'm saying. You'd
For the
like it.
most, yeah, you're right.
You
I
would
wouldn't know any
be
different.
fine.
Right.
That's the
You're
thing.
absolutely right.
This
Yeah.
is why society is where it is, because it has now formed jealousy. It has now formed
Seriously.
hostility.
Yeah.
It has now formed
Red-eyedness.
animosity. It just
Yes.
everything is just because I have
Just
more
by
than the other,
comparison.
and that's where the greed turns into a bad thing. Because
Yes.
now I have 3 cars and you have 2. I
Yeah.
want 3 cars. So you're going to find some way to either A, make him feel and lose a car, or B, find any means necessary to match that 3-car number. And you won't care who you step on, how you
Yeah.
do it to get it done, even if you have to steal it. And again, some people will do whatever they need to do. Again, we've been studying about a certain person that we're going to talk about later on. But again, some people do things immorally and think it's morally to get on that same level playing as everybody else, which is scary.
It's
And
the
no one stops
abuse
these people.
of the power. That's the bad part, the abuse of it.
But everybody abuses power.
Right. And we
Right now,
especially in the West, we've
I
been
have
taught.
lights. I have lights going on all over the place, and I'm not turning them off.
And there's
And
somebody out
sometimes
there with no lights.
exactly. And I'm like, you know what? I'm hot or I'm cold, and I click a button, and I'm like, ooh.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
you will have that running all night, or I'll fall asleep to the TV being on. I'm like, yo, like, I mean, it's not that we do it on purpose. That's just the nature of the beast now.
And that's
We're
what
so
you
used to that.
yes. And
So
all of it is
now,
arguably immoral. Like
and
everything
and
we
the
just
thing
spoke
is,
of is arguably,
the,
at least our participation in it is arguably immoral because we
the,
may not control it so per
true,
se.
true, and this is why I think a lot of people need to go to a third world country, because you will respect the work that people do to get where they need to get. I
Mhm.
mean, when I went to Nigeria, before they banned the transportation service called Okada, and Okada is basically a motorbike, and you'll be using somebody would jump on the motorbike, it'll drive you to a certain location, jump off. It's almost like a very very efficient taxi service.
Yeah, they have
Get that person, and then boom, they jump on and go and just jump on, and they just keep on kind of connecting the dots and getting to where you don't need to get to.
Mhm.
And the only reason why that was working is because it would not care for traffic. You would
Mm.
go on the sidewalk, and if there was a sidewalk, or you go through ditches and whatnot, just to get where you need to get to, right?
Mm.
So they did whatever they needed to do to get there. Now, the powers that be said, no, we're no longer having this happen in the major city anymore. No. So now all those people can't work because it's morally wrong to do that,
Mhm.
because of the laws that they set, right?
Yeah, see, I wouldn't
Now,
say morally, I would say legally wrong. But I digress.
but yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. So it is legally wrong, but on a moral compass, now that person has no way to make some money
Right.
to eat. And
Right.
what does he do?
And
Right?
is that right? Is that wrong?
Exactly.
Is that right?
Exactly.
That's a very good example because they probably did it because accidents were happening. People were probably dying. So
Well,
forth.
yeah, it was very reckless.
Yeah.
Very reckless.
Very
So
reckless, causing issues. So on one end, the law is morally correct because you're protecting people. But on the other end, you're taking food out of people's mouths and then you're hurting people.
And then we bring it all back to number one. It's like, is morality subjective? Because again, on one hand, it helps. The other hand, it hurts. What side of the coin are you on?
Like everything else, like I said, everything that human beings have created, morality might be one of them, depending on what side of the fence you're on.
Exactly.
It is the view, and it comes down to view and perspective. But everything humans make is skewed some way or the other. We will find a reason to do what we want to do.
Everything that's man-made is skewed.
Everything that man made is
Everything natural is not.
I want to say yes. Maybe I'd need an example to change my mind, but yes is my initial answer, at least. I can't think of, because I don't think we're even at man. I don't think we come out of the womb skewed. We learn it. We don't, just like we don't, like we don't come out of the womb being racist or being greedy or being.
You're definitely well. See that. Then hold on. So now that poses a question on some other stuff. When it comes to certain people feeling that they're not born a certain way, and then people are now saying that it's because they came out of the womb that way. So, for instance, a child is born, and by the age of 5 or 6 or whatever age, they said, you know what? I really was not meant to be this gender. I'm really this gender, but I came out as this gender. But people were saying it was at birth that this person was feeling this way. I'm like,
yeah, but I don't think that's a question of right or wrong.
No, not per se.
Or a more morality question. I don't think, because that's like saying.
But aren't you taught certain things for morale?
Yes, but the what I'm saying.
You just said when you came out of the womb, there's no judgment. You're a clean slate.
Yes.
You don't know better. You were taught everything you were taught from once you come out of the womb.
Right.
So how does one who comes out of the womb feel that they are not the gender they're supposed to be?
So,
and I said, folks, I'm not saying it's wrong. It's wrong to feel that way. By all means, you can feel that way. I'm just trying to question, because we're talking about morals, how is this supposed to be working like that?
Okay, here's the thing with the transgender thing. Yes, you are for the most part. There are hermaphrodites and so forth and so on. But for the most part, you are born a certain sex or gender.
Correct. Gender.
You're born a certain gender. But again, what it means to be that particular gender is what is taught to you. The socialization of the gender is what you're taught. So I come out of the womb a boy, right? I was born with the hockey stick and the pucks.
You're so Canadian, man.
I come out with the stick and the pucks, right? But that doesn't mean, simply put, I'll even give it another example after this. That doesn't mean I'm supposed to be put into pants and not a dress. That's the socialization part. That doesn't mean I'm supposed to play with toy trucks and not dolls. That's the socialization part. That's the teaching. A woman said to me, and this was one of the most eye-opening things when it comes to the gender, not the gender wars, but the gender socialization, or how we're socialized, how our genders are socialized. Women, for the most part, are given toys that they are then going to use adult versions of when they grow up. So they get the easy bake ovens.
I was going to say easy bake ovens.
They get the baby dolls.
Yeah.
They get the
makeup
Barbies,
kits,
the makeup kits, the little vacuums and sweeping.
Yeah.
They get all these things that are supposed to be girl toys. What do we get? Yeah?
Trucks and guns and superheroes and all them things.
Some of these things we will never do or use when we get older.
Yeah.
I've never held a gun as an adult.
Right.
Don't run up on me though. But I never held a gun as an adult. but I had many a laser gun. Captain, what's the name of that show that I had seen this the other day? Captain. Planet. You know,
I know with the whatchamacallit on the with the video with the show.
Yeah, what was that show?
Yeah, I forget the laser that. I was just talking about that probably a good 2 months ago.
Me and my cousins used to kill that.
Oh,
G.I.
that
Joe,
show was
Transformers, like things we got to live in our fantasy, whereas the women were being socialized. And that's the difference. To the point where, as we're growing up, if we were playing with dolls, we might catch a beating, bro.
True.
And why wouldn't we be playing with dolls? Are we not supposed to take care of our children? You know what I'm saying? Like, why?
Yep.
Shouldn't we be learning that? So that's what I'm saying. Coming out of the womb, we come out with a clean slate. Yes, we come out with our genders or whatever. But in the which I'm probably torn on it as well, but I could see the point. Who is to say that which we label as a little boy isn't a little girl inside, or not even a little girl? I'll even take that away. Isn't the little boy that wants to play with dolls? Who is to say that that's not a natural thing that they want to do, but they're socialized out of?
Yep. No, you're right. And again, it goes back like that's what I'm kind of confused about it. Who made the decision? Who said that? Again, because if you go back, like you go back, even going back to biblical times and so forth. Who made the rules for how people dressed back then? Why? Right? Why were most of the slaves, again, we'll go back there, or what were the men in there breaking the bricks and digging whatever, and then the women were coming out to feed them or give them water or give them a cloth or whatever the white. Like, why were they kind of those roles? Who decided those roles? Because this is why we're up in arms right now.
I'll do you one better than that. It's funny because I was reading a book, quote unquote, a feminist book by Bell Hooks, and she's talking about slavery and the misconception that the slave men were under harsher labor conditions than the slave women, which is again somewhat subjective, because history there are accounts that women slaves were better at this is terrible take or a terrible way to say it, but the women, let me say it this way: the women slaves were better at the labor than the men were, because they were coming from environments where they were already more of a laborer than the men. They were already domesticated and doing things that the men didn't necessarily have to do back in Africa, because it was a patriarchal society. We didn't have to cook and clean and we were just going to the field and coming back. Whereas in slavery times, the women had to do both. They had to go to the field and come home and clean. And they were already somewhat conditioned to more labor than we were. But when you watch this, again, to the socialization thing, if you watch slave movies, the women are not shown to be the stronger sex in those situations. They're shown to be there. And that's something we talked about also on TikTok. In general, there is this framework that has been given to us that women are softer than we were. They're always softer. And maybe physically, not even maybe. Physically, it depends on what you mean by soft. They're maybe weaker physically, generally speaking. But
women if we're talking about the strongest women, like,
right. If we're talking about pound for pound, like type thing,
childbirth,
they're stronger than us.
Menstrual cramps,
these vibes,
these
vibes. And again, who knows? Because we don't have menstrual cramps, we don't have children to even really compare this.
Right, but again, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yes, as things stand on a day-to-day basis, pound for pound, they're the champion of the world. Pound for pound.
Long time, the greatest of all time.
Yeah,
it's true. They are the best.
They are the
You can't beat them. You
Layla
can't
Ali,
commit.
Risha Shields of the world. Like
Yes.
that's how I see it. Now, does that mean they're better than us? Not necessarily. And us being physically stronger than them, does that make us better than them? Not necessarily.
Yeah, that's all
But
subjective.
we've been taught for a long time until much recently that's yes, we're better than them because we're stronger than them, and we've built all of these things, and we brought the world to this state, which questionably did we bring the world to a good state?
Yeah, but again, we are only going by what was taught before us.
Right.
We can question it.
We should.
But yeah, we are questioning it. But the question is now, we are only living the what if world. The question now is like, what if we let the women? Maybe they'll be better. Maybe they'll be worse. We don't know.
Who knows?
Back in the day, men were the ones that were doing it.
Or we might soon to be finding out. We might find out.
We have to accept it and move on. Don't dwell on it. That's what I keep on telling them. Don't dwell on what happened in the 1950s, 40s, 30s, 20s, because we living in the 2000s right now, and shit's getting weird. And it's changing, man. It's changing. So yeah, you're gonna look at. Like we were talking about strength. There is a lot of women there that are bodybuilders that can kick my ass. All right, they are strong women. All right, so don't get it twisted. It's not like we can't do it. The thing we can't do biologically, we cannot have kids.
Yes,
that's the one thing we can't do that women will always be able to do. And that's what makes them stronger,
in a sense,
men.
At least in that area.
Yes,
but I can even tell you, like, there's a woman that I know, shout out Day Day. She posted in her stories what she does on the leg press, which is now, let me just say it. She's doing my max, which isn't technically my max because I just never tried to go higher. I'm sure I can, but she's doing my max for 15 to 20 reps. A thing that a set of weight that I do for 12 reps and struggle. She's doing it for 15 to 20. Sir.
Warm up.
Yeah, vibes. That is training. She's been trained to be a bodybuilder. But that just goes to show.
Yeah,
I'm 6'2", 235. She's probably like 5'6", 1 something, and we're pushing the same weight.
Wrong.
Yeah, gay. Strong.
Wow.
So yeah, morality. So full circle. I think morality is as subjective as everything else.
I really think we should have a part 2 on this because I would like to get some people on here to kind of chime in.
Yeah, that would be dope.
On their views, because I mean, there's 2 black men talking about this right now. We have our views on things just because they've been skewed because of society. Right now, a man like Poe, shout out to Poe, who was on last episode. He might think totally different.
Yeah,
and the reason why he probably will think different, well, he's been raised a bit different.
Quite possible.
He'll admit it.
Yeah,
he won't sugarcoat it. Right? We've talked about his Italian background and whatnot, right? So again, some people, different frames or different times in the world,
LT might have a different view.
Yeah,
Kevin might have a different view.
Exactly.
And all of our guests might have a different view. Who knows?
Exactly. Only because of what we were presented to act like.
Facts.
And we can't reverse that. As much as we want to, and this is the pretty much the problem of the world right now. No one wants to accept and change now. Everybody keeps on going, but it was like this before. It was like, no, we get that. So you guys built this infrastructure. Great. Thank you for that. Let's go on and do something great. No, but because we used to do that, we're going to, no, I mean, you can't dwell on that old stuff anymore. You dwell on the past. Yeah, you have to evolve. Again, and as much as not everybody is keen to accepting certain things, fine. You don't have to accept everything, but you have to understand that it's happening, whether you like it or not. Right? Same-sex marriages. I remember way back when that was a frowned upon. You can't do that. Now it's almost a norm.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost a norm. So,
It's funny, even just in general. Like growing up, it was a rare thing to see LGBTQ representation, just in general. But if I go back to like blaxploitation movies, there's representation in them,
it was just
and
hidden.
and not even in some of them. Like movies like Five on the Black Hand Side, there's clear. Clear, yeah, it's clearly there are characters in there. I don't know if you consider them cross-dressing or transgender or whatever they would like to be.
Yes. Okay, yes.
Clearly in there.
They had the dresses, they had the wigs. You're
Like
right.
The villain of that particular movie is an effeminate man dressing as a woman. So, and this is 70s. This is before our time. What's going on?
I think I remember what was the movie with the great Wesley Snipes, Patrick Swayze, and some other dude. They were, what's that?
Tu Wong Fu.
Yes. Again, it was thrown in our face, and the world did not. That movie did not do well.
Yeah, well,
and they could not accept it. And you can go back to Knights in Shining Armor. I mean, look at whatchamacallit. What's that show? Game of Thrones. It went back to the medieval times where men were dealing with men and women were dealing with women.
Never not existed, bro. So
it was almost natural for them, and no one cared for it.
It never not existed. So this whole
it brings back to me and said, hey, who told these people that it was wrong?
Yep. Never not existed. It was always going on.
Yo, Littlefinger, why you with the men then?
Littlefinger.
Pull it.
It's a wild name for that even type of. Anyway, let me chill.
But you're right. It's been going on.
Yeah, not new.
It's not new.
And again, what I'm saying, like if you want to, we might not even get to another topic as we're going.
Nope, this might be it.
This might be it. But this is what I'm saying with even that, like if we're saying God created all things. And there is always, this has always been kind of, not always, but when I came into a certain realization has been my argument with religious people. If God created all things, and there has always been homosexual people. God didn't create them. And the argument is, well, man will turn from God and do their own thing. Sure, that's one way to apply it. That's one way to apply it. But what if it went the other way? Like what if us going away from God was going into opposite sex relationships? And if God is love, does it matter what love you have? Does it matter with whom you have it with? I'm not promoting pedophilia in no shape.
Right.
I do think that's morally incorrect. But back to the video that we played earlier, there's a point in that video where the guy says, so the murdering of innocent children is right. That's what the
doctor said. No,
Marcus says.
Okay.
And the doctor replies, yeah. Yes, there are reasons in which it could be right.
Without flinching, he said that.
Out flinching, bro.
He said,
and off as soon as you hear that, you're like, what? No way. What are we talking about? Innocent kids being killed is not. But I know you guys hate to hear me say but on that. I even actually don't like myself saying it. But there are benefits to anyone, including children, dying on this planet. Because it leaves room for the rest of us.
Well,
it's a bad way. It's not a good way to think, but it is a reality.
No, you're right. No, but I wouldn't say room for us, but I think it gives us more time to live on this earth. I mean, there's a lot of.
That's kind of what I mean. But yes, more time. There's more resources left for who's there. There's
more understanding of things as well too. Certain people die for a certain reason, and you get the chance to study that that
all of that.
situation. Yeah,
All
yeah.
as my mom and as my even as what we're speaking about with the LGBT, with
Mhm, mhm,
racial
mhm.
and the racial civil rights. Let's just say,
Yes,
as my mom would say, it takes people to die. Because if her grandfather was alive today, what would he be doing? He'd probably die from a heart attack anyway,
true.
seeing what's going on.
Mhm,
So you have to
mhm.
die. People have to die for the world to move on.
So
For the
you
world to,
so okay, so I guess
innocent
are
or otherwise, child,
are we
man,
are
woman, whatever.
okay, okay. Now I'm gonna challenge that now. Do you believe that those the world leaders that have been assassinated, do you think they needed to die to get to where we are? Or was there a fear of going another way because of how they were leading, i.e., Robert Kennedy, John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, you know, all these powers
I
that
think both
be.
things are true. I think yes, they needed to die for us to move forward. Um, and uh, and maybe there's no and. That's the hindsight thought.
Mhm.
If Martin Luther King didn't get assassinated, would people rise up to the point where they had to give you certain rights? But yeah, again, that's hindsight thinking. Because if he was alive, would we be further along because we had a real leader, quote
Well,
unquote?
and that's what I was
That's a
going
good
going back.
question.
I'm thinking it takes it took us so long to get and accept, well, the world to accept black people as equals and so forth. If he was still there pushing that narrative, he might have done it sooner, and we
Yeah,
would be
quite
probably in
possibly.
a different world right now. We'd
Quite
probably
possibly.
and our family and our loved ones and so forth. On top of that, you know, John F. Kennedy,
Mhm.
um, Malcolm X, you know, certain people who were taken from us because of their views. I always wonder, again, through movies or through books or through documentaries, and I'm like, what if this guy did survive?
Yeah.
Where would we be right now? The Rosa Parks there, you know,
Mhm, mhm.
although she wasn't assassinated, but what would happen if people actually accepted what was being done? Where would we be right now? Like,
Mhm.
because again, hindsight, like you said, is a perfect word for it, because again, we're at a spot where we are accepting, again, majority are accepting
Mhm.
black folks and about same-sex relationships or about the LGBTQ community and
Mhm.
whatnot. What if those people were there to spearhead that now? The 90s, the 80s, even the 70s would look so different right now. And
Yeah,
we might be a different
that's possible.
world. Now, technology might be still the same and everything, but how we use it might be totally different. Might be totally different.
I'll give you another example, but on the other side of it. If the Holocaust never happened,
Oh, I knew you were gonna go there. I knew you were gonna go
if it
there.
never happened, would Jewish
Yeah,
people be in the level of power that they actually are currently in?
you're 100%.
Yeah,
Again, that makes me always like
yeah.
when
That
I
atrocity
have
was
times
an
like this, I'm like,
atrocity. It was yeah, it was wrong. And there's not really a but there, but there's a but there. But
mhm, mhm.
look what it did for your people. Look at the results of your people thriving
We can even
because
go to
came up.
apartheid. Same thing.
It's an example. Those are examples of yeah, it could go either way.
Yes.
Because I mean, because on the other side of that, the Holocaust happening to the Jewish, it's arguably what they're putting on the Palestinians right now.
Mm,
So if they didn't go through the Holocaust, would the Palestinians not have to go through what they're going through?
mm.
It's a bunch of what ifs, like you said.
Yeah, again, hindsight. Like you said, the perfect word, hindsight, man. Just I'm always, like I said. There's times where I'll be sitting back and like I said, I'll be watching a movie or watching a documentary or even just reading clipping of anything online. I'm like, yo, what if this guy was alive? Because again, it's again social media that's just making me think this way, because they have all these uh AI now generating if they were this age or wwhatever and so forth, and looking
Mhm.
at their younger stuff and their older stuff. I'm like, man, Imagine if Martin Luther King was still alive. Where would we be and what would we be doing? Malcolm X, same thing, right?
Shoot, what if Biggie and Tupac were alive, man?
Exactly. Exactly. Music industry might be different right now.
It might be a totally different game, bro. Who
Person
knows?
like Marilyn Monroe still alive? Who knows what the game would be like in the Hollywood world? Michael Jackson, if he was still alive, my goodness.
What would be going on?
Exactly.
But I mean, the what ifs are as plausible as the morality. It could go either way.
It could
be considered right or wrong on either way that it would go. So there's so many. It's like the choose your own adventures. There's so many lanes, but they all lead to the end of the book.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
And the thing is, you're not wrong.
You're not wrong. Whatever lane you take,
whatever lane you pick, you're not wrong
because you would know the other lane.
Exactly, and it's subjective. So you might think a certain way, somebody else might think totally opposite. It is what it is. That's what it is.
Well, yeah,
it is what it
absolutely.
is. So again, this is a great topic, and I bet we can definitely bring it up and talk about it with more people multiple times. And I think we're probably going to do it at another time. But you know what?
You should.
I would like to have more people to talk about it because again, this is something that can flourish into something. Wow.
Yeah.
It's just two of us talking, and like when we said something or I said something, you said something, and then you brought up something else, and then I brought up something else, and it just kept on going. Now we're here. We're talking about world figures that were murdered and whatnot. And like, whoa.
Good roundtable discussion.
100%. And we're definitely going to do that. For sure, we're going to do that.
Yeah, man.
But we'll leave it at this right now. It is getting late, and we definitely have to edit this and get this out for all you folks to talk about. But again, feel free to talk about it, comment about it, like, subscribe, hit us up on our socials. They're going to be always in the descriptions there for you. Tell me what you think about the show. Tell us what you want. Tell us what you don't want. We'll see what we can do. In the end, we're just doing this for entertainment and education. So keep on keeping on. I want to thank Slang again for giving me his time as well. I'm one of your amazing hosts, Sir Toks. We'll catch you again next time. Peace out, folks.
Peace.